Everybody, I'm Lynda Mullaly Hunt, author of 3 books thus far. First one is One for the Murphys. Second one is Fish in a Tree. And my third book, which is coming out on May 7th of this year, is entitled Shouting at the Rain. And this is the book that I'm going to read to you today. So, Delsie McKill is the main character in this book, and she is, as you could tell from the cover or the title, that she is a little obsessed with weather. She loves to track storms. She loves to watch the Weather Channel. And her life is, bumped along pretty well thus far, living on Cape Cod with her Grammy. Until the winds start to shift and the friend that she's been best friends with since she was 4 years old kind of decides that she's had enough of her and wants to move on to someone else. And so she's dealing with that and coming to terms with what a real friend is and how you are treated by people who really care about you is one theme in the book that I think is really important. She does find a new friend named Ronan, a boy, and you're going to be introduced to both of them today. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start off with chapter 1 to give you just a little introduction to Delsie. And then I'm going to jump ahead to introduce you to a couple of some characters I really love. So without further ado, let's go. All right. If I make mistakes, I'm not going to re-record because mistakes are part of life and mistakes are being human, and I don't get overly concerned with mistakes. And I don't know if reading aloud is, I love it, but sometimes I get tongue-tied. But I'm just going to keep going. All right, so chapter 1 is titled Until Now. There are 2 kinds of people. People who like surprises and people who don't. I don't. And yet here is Amy Pollock, my friend since 1st grade, marching through our front door as loud as a summer crow. Delsie, I have the best surprise. Uh-oh. So she begins. You know that Michael and I tried out for the summer production at the Cape Playhouse, right? Yeah, I ask. Michael got a great part, but I got the lead. Can you believe it? She goes dead serious. Wait, autographs. Do you think people will actually ask for them? Yeah, I think we'll have to get a red carpet leading up to your front door. This is no joke. She leans forward a bit. Do you know how many famous people started acting at the Playhouse? I think you've mentioned it, I say, smiling. After one giant step, she stands right in front of me. I really need your help, though. My help? Why would you need my help? You know I'd rather hang glide in a hailstorm than be in a play. She shakes her head. I don't need you in the play, Delsie. I just need you to help me with my part. The play is Annie, she says wide-eyed. The Hard Knock Life Annie? The one we watched on TV? She rolls her eyes. It was a play long before it was a movie. Whatever, Ames. You know theater isn't my thing. Well, it's just that I really want to be... She waves her hand in the air like a magician. I want to be authentic. So, I don't understand how I can help. Wouldn't Michael be better? No, he can't help me. Not like you can. Michael has a family. I feel like I've tripped, but I haven't hit the ground yet. Tell me, she says, what's it like? I mean, really like, to be an orphan. The ground seems to move. She leans in, talking and talking, something about me being lucky while I just stand there, caught in between wanting to disappear and wanting to help her. I feel around for an answer to her question, but I have none. I've thought about my mother, of course. I've wondered where she went to and where she's been. But I guess Amy is right. I was abandoned, and I guess I am an orphan. But is it dumb to say that I never really thought about it like that until now? So that's the end of chapter 1. And Delsie has been raised by grandparents that really loved her. So she never viewed herself as an orphan until this moment. And so this is something that she tries to figure out in this book. So now I'm going to jump ahead, way ahead to chapter 29, which is about 60% of the way through the book. And I'm going to introduce you to two characters I absolutely love. Now, I really love Saucepan Lynn. And there's a very special reason why I love Saucepan Lynn, but I can't give that secret away just yet. But stay tuned for that. And then the other character is Ronan, the boy that becomes Delsie's best friend. And I really love him. So this takes place in Saucepan Lynn's diner. So Saucepan Lynn owns a diner. She's a firefighter in town. She's quite a character. I love her. So I'm going to read this chapter just to give you a little taste of those two. Chapter 29, The Greatest Predictor of Success. The next morning, Ronan and I head to Saucepan Lynn's for some pancakes. Saucepan Lynn is also a volunteer firefighter, so she cooks in her suspenders in case she has to run off. I remember the day she slapped a handful of keys on the counter and told the regulars they better take one, that they could start pulling their weight around the place and get in there early and help with breakfast. One of Henry's favorite things to do is leave the house before dawn and get there early and get some bacon frying on the griddle. Sorry, made a mistake. When we arrive, we have to step over a couple of golden retrievers. When some people complained about them hanging around the restaurant, Saucepan Lynn hung up a sign that says, "If you have a problem with our dogs, we are happy to recommend another restaurant." We sit at the counter, and Ronan is mesmerized watching Saucepan. "Man, she's got some arm muscles on her," he says. He leans. "What's her tattoo of?" "A ship's anchor with a saucepan hanging off the bottom. When she flexes her muscles, the pan swings back and forth a bit." "That's wicked cool," he laughs. And on her wrist, she has the Yarmouth firefighter badge. Most firefighters in town have one. Saucepan reaches over and gives a rubber chicken a few squeaks. That's the signal for the waitresses that there are meals to deliver. Then she resumes an old argument with the regulars. "There are worse things," she says, "than spending a day on a boat. I hang over a hot stove." "Oh, come on, are you kidding me?" one of the guys shoots back. "In January, the wind makes your bones crack. I'd give my teeth to stand over a hot stove. And no one has ever died making a sauce." "Well," she says, "you fishermen can yammer on about your bones cracking, but if there's a few sprinkles out, I know you are here, hunched over a hot cup of coffee. And I hear you bragging about your patience and catching fish. You want to know about patience? Try making a fine sauce." "What's sauce got to do with patience?" another regular asks. "Everything," she bellows, pointing her whisk at him. "A good cook knows you can't go turning up the heat because you're impatient. You gotta let it simmer, take its time, let all those flavors come into their own, because if you rush it, well, it won't satisfy. But," she leans forward, "if you cook it just right, folks can't shake the memory of it, and they long for another taste, and that's what brings them back." "You mean to tell me," a fisherman says, "that you think that it takes more patience to cook a sauce than to fish on the ocean when you can't see land in any direction and you're out there for hours in all kinds of weather, dealing with seasickness and engine troubles and any number of other things that can happen?" "Yeah, because a sauce takes time and love. Once you catch a fish, your job is done. God's done all the work for you." Amid the grumbling of a bunch of fishermen, she whips her head around and looks at us. "Hey," she says, pointing at Ronan. "Is your name Ronan?" Yeah, he says, pushing his chin forward. "You ever flipped a crepe?" "A crepe?" "Yeah, a crepe. It's like a very thin pancake, and we put fruit and other stuff inside." "Why? Just answer me. You flipped a crepe before or not?" Ronan turns around. I guess to check to see if there's someone behind them that she's really talking to. When he turns back, she points at him. Yeah, I'm talking to you, short stack. He spreads his feet apart. Don't call me that. She squints one eye. Okay, I'm sorry. But don't you be worrying about how big you are. I've known plenty of big men who didn't have a drop of bravery. It's about the size of a man's heart and soul, not his shirt size that matters. She walks around the counter, but holds Ronan's gaze. So Henry Lasco was in here this very morning talking about how brave you are, jumping into the water after sharks? And by the way, I hope someone's told you that ain't brave. That's just foolishness. But this is what I want to know. Are you brave enough to flip a good crepe? It startles me that the words brave and crepe are in the same sentence. I look at Ronan and think how he won't be able to resist her challenge. I'm betting that telling Ronan to stay away from a dare is like telling a seagull to leave a French fry alone. He walks around the counter and over to the grill. What am I supposed to do? She puts an oven mitt on his hand. I've got 2 crepes ready to be flipped. I'll do the first, you do the second. One of the fishermen yells, What are you doing? Leave the kid alone. She snaps back. Now you just mind your own P's and Q's there. She turns to Ronan. You want me to leave you alone? Ronan clears his throat. No. Saucepan continues. Good. Now I think the way a person flips a crepe says something about who he is and his future. He looks at her like a bass just swam out of her mouth. Yeah, she says, leaning in. People look at me like that a lot, and I don't much care, to be honest. But I'm right about the crepes. Trust me. She grabs the handles of the first pan and steps back from the stove. Gotta put some muscle into it. Take control. Show the crepe who's boss. Wish I had a nickel for every time I heard that, Ronan says. Hey, none of your funny business there. He smirks. She shakes the pan to loosen the crepe, then angles it downward and swoops it up in a circle. The crepe flies into the air, flips and lands in the pan. Easy, she says with a single nod. Now it's your turn. Ronan gets squinty-eyed, and I worry for him. Come on, putting it off will only burn the thing. I'm not putting it off, he says. I'm preparing. Well, prepare faster. I hold my breath. Ronan seems so calm, but he grunts as he sends the crepe into the air. The roar from the fisherman's laughter shakes the place. Saucepan looks up at the ceiling. You really stick it up there, kid. You're strong, that's for sure. Someone get me the broom, she yells. Then she turns to Ronan. Well, perhaps you need a little finesse, but I think you're going to do great things, kid. And so that is the end of chapter 29, to give you a little introduction to Ronan and his personality. I needed to choose a chapter that didn't give away, anything big, because Ronan has some difficulty controlling his temper. He gets into fights and things like that. There are some things about his life that unfold, and I didn't want to give stuff like that away in a reading like this. So that's a chapter that I really like, but it sort of stands all by itself, like a little mini short story. So that's why I chose that one. So I will do other videos about Shouting at the Rain, and closer to the book's release, I will ask you guys for questions after you've had a chance to read the book, and I will do some videos to answer those questions, and I'll do some more read-alouds. I guess this is really just a read-aloud kind of day, so I won't go into too much, but I do wish I could step through the screen. I wish I could step into everybody's classrooms and see you all in person. I'm so, so grateful that you have chosen to watch my video today. Really, there are so many authors and so many magnificent books, and I'm really grateful that you chose to watch my video. So, in honor of World Read Aloud Day, I'm going to show you some foreign covers of my books. So that means that Fish in a Tree is published in 21 different languages all around the country. And it's really cool for me to get these copies and to see how every country has designed a new cover. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show the cover, and then I'm going to pause. And if your teacher would like to pause your video while you guys guess, and then you push play again, then I'll give the answer. So you guys can like play, pause, if you want to. You don't have to. Okay, so here's the first one. Anybody want to guess where you think that came from? The answer is France. All right. Fish in a Tree. Anybody want to guess where that one came from? Is that cool? The answer is Italy. Italy. All right. This one, I'm going to double check. I'm sorry. I shouldn't have to do this, but I don't want to give you the wrong one. Okay. This one, isn't that beautiful? The answer is Vietnam. Very cool. Okay. Next one. The answer is Spain. So it's Spanish. But I think there are slightly different versions of Spanish around the world, but that one was actually printed and published in Spain. All right, how about this one? Isn't that beautiful? I have to say it's one of my favorites. It's really beautiful. Okay, this one was printed in Korea. Isn't that beautiful? All right, what about this one? Look how different that is. Like a completely different tone. It's so serious, right? I think it's beautiful too, just in a different way. So this one was published in Germany. Okay, and this one, I'm sorry. I gotta peek a little bit. Okay, this one, again, completely different, but very cool, was published in Romania. Very cool, very cool. Okay, and then this one, I'm sorry, you guys. I should double check. All right. This one is beautiful. And you can't really tell, but it's much smaller than the others, which I really like. It would like fit in a bag or purse really easily. This one comes from Taiwan. Again, very cool. All right, just a couple more. This one comes from Poland. And the last one, which is one of my favorites, because I love the yellow, and the way it looks with these different colors. This one was published in Brazil. So it's actually written in the Portuguese language. And, by the way, Ronan is Portuguese. And I'm shouting at the rain. Because there are a lot of Irish fishermen and a lot of Portuguese fishermen. So that's why I chose that. I did my research and such. So, all right, you guys, I'd really like to hang out, but I know you have a tight schedule today. Happy World Read Aloud Day, and I really hope that you enjoyed hearing some of Shouting at the Rain. I hope you all have a spectacular day. All right, take care. Bye-bye.